you need to pause, just let me know and we can.
Okay. Just one thing. Hold on. Let me get you. You can leave this in.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. It's all about the look.
It's different having someone who cares about my appearance.
So much. So it's too much. It plagues my life, honestly, because I'm watching movies and anything. I'm just like, oh, they should have fixed her hair there. Or,
I will say working at the suit shop years ago ruined watching TV and movies for me. Now I critique every suit and every show.
Did you?
Well,
I didn't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started the women's line at Taylor Cooperative.
Uh-huh.
I guess I shouldn't. Not the women's line, the feminine line. So it's the feminine cut that you can get there. And then we did a training on having like non-binary. So
beautiful.
We now have like the verbiage. I'm obviously lost it a little bit. I need to practice more.
It's challenging in these times.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're practicing it frequently, it's second nature.
Yeah.
You just have to be educated in it. And so we were just making sure that everyone knew that Taylor Cooperative was an inclusive place and you can get whatever type of cut you want, no matter who you are and how you identify.
Whatever you proclaim yourself to be. Hey, you good? Hey, you're tough.
We'll start over. Wow. Yeah,
Dang.
I didn't usually have a plan. I just like to talk to people. I want it to feel more authentic and casual as well. But it's been so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Will you fix? I know I just...
No, you're good.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're great.
Well, I have my personal stylist here, Cydnie Garcia.
Nice to meet you guys. It is my duty to make this world a more beautiful place.
And she's doing it. She's killing it.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
I already talked about how we met, and I'll post that.
Yeah.
It was the other video. But
you came in one random... Yeah. I think it was like literally my first day at the salon.
It was... You were not there very long.
Uh-huh. And you needed your hair braided. And I pulled your hair and you paid me money.
Yeah.
It was great.
I needed it looking really good too. So like I can kind of get away with braiding my hair, but I had a photo shoot that day. And one, I think I was embarrassed to say that I had a photo shoot.
Why?
I don't know. Listen.
Is it because you live in Salt Lake?
Yes.
Any day in Los Angeles, it's like, oh, you have a photo shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, cool. Let's go.
I think it's just because calling myself a model and starting this portion of my career, like that's not my number one focus, but it's been so hard to get through the imposter syndrome and like just calling myself a model.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced the same with like, I'm a designer.
I experienced that with all of my titles. I feel slightly not able to claim that. I think it's also the receptivity of it all, like the way that people receive it can make me feel a certain way. Like I've told people before, like, oh, I model and oh, I'm a designer, and like they kind of like laugh, like it's like a not real position, but it's
right. Or I
real.
feel like, I don't know, and maybe this is me projecting my own beliefs, right, is maybe I believe that people who have the confidence to so effortlessly say, I'm a model, or put themselves in front of a camera, or show up behind their work, I assume a crazy amount of confidence has to come from that. And so I instantly feel intimidated by those people who are so effortlessly able to just say like, hey, like this is who I am and this is what I'm about.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so,
this is
and we talked a little bit about that, not wanting to pigeonhole yourself into a box.
Yes. I struggle when I introduce myself to anybody. They're like, hey, like, what do you do? And I'm just like,
is such a question. Why do we ask people that?
I don't know why. I think of everyone as multifaceted, and I know not everyone's just a plumber or just a whatever it is. But I know that in the industry, it's kind of like a way of kind of like fixing through how we can network with each other quickly. And we're not all just one-dimensional.
No,
at
and
all.
it would be silly to think everyone was.
We have so many things to offer each other, and so when I do introduce myself, I struggle because I don't ever want to be like, I'm just a hairdresser or I'm just a designer. You know, I consider myself just an artist.
Yeah.
And my whole life is just dedicated to making this world like a more beautiful place, really is my biggest thing, and helping people with their confidence and their overall just well-being.
Right.
On top of like sharing what's going on in my imagination, which is huge, and just creating a new world, really.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
How do you let people into your imagination like that?
I just share photos, really. That's my
Not
biggest
the question you were expecting.
No. Yeah, basically I'm alone a lot, and I'm alone in my head a lot, and
Same.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm at home just making stuff, I will just randomly get ideas and then be like, oh, I need to shoot it like this. I need to like showcase this exact outfit like this way, and just post it. And regardless if it gets 2 likes or whatever, whoever sees it, it's just, that's literally my visual diary of
It's social.
my world. Yeah.
And I think you could even post more. Like
I should post more, but hey, let's just be real. I have big brands looking at me.
Yeah.
Regardless how little my following is, I see you. They're taking my designs. So
Which please tell us about this.
Oui.
So just to kind of do a quick over, we met at the blow dry bar.
Yes.
And I was doing a photo shoot. I kind of just opened up about what I'm working on, and then you opened up about what you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I needed like a fresh cut and color, I went to you.
Mm-hmm.
That was the second time that we like connected again.
Yeah.
And you were getting ready to go to Europe for Fashion Week.
Yes.
So tell us how that all went, because I love this.
Europe was great. I've gone to Europe several times to show my work, and I'm not necessarily ever invited to anything, but it ends up happening.
You're
just
making
by being
yourself
there.
Available for the opportunities.
For sure. And I'm just a visual showcase, so to speak. I like to do things guerrilla style. I don't really super plan ahead. But I know in my mind like what I want to see next season, things that I don't see, and I create my own little collection and I bring it with me to Europe. And I normally go alone. So I basically was on my trip, landed in London. I had this lady with roses come up to me and be like, my children are starving, I need money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm feeling very, giving. And then she follows me to an ATM where she was about to rob me, I guess. I didn't see it. I was just trying to be a giving person. Mm-hmm. And these 2 guys stopped her, and then they ushered me into this bank where I met this lady.
Was that part scary? Where these 2 guys came up to you and were like,
yeah, because I literally just got there. So imagine you just come out the subway from the airport. Mm-hmm. I was in the Piccadilly Circus. It's like the Times Square of London. Okay. And where there's all this like shopping center, just lots of people, right? Touristy, super just packed. And so she's the first person to approach me, and I'm like a little overwhelmed, but I'm like, okay, like she shows me her bag. I have nothing, and I'm like, okay, sure, like
what's helping one person?
Absolutely. Yeah. And my philosophy is if somebody's asking me, they clearly need it.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking any backstory. I'm not thinking she's working for anybody, but apparently she was. And the people that ushered me into the bank, they knew who she was because they work nearby. And so they shoo her away, call the cops, whatever. The bank teller there was super sweet and just like took me under her wing, grabbed me a coffee, and we just started talking. And she found out I was a designer, liked what I was wearing, told me that she had a plug at Louis and that I should go talk to him. And I was just like, okay. Like, this is really what I'm here for, you know? Like, I need
my arm.
Yeah, sure. Like, what else have I got to do? Like,
right.
Let's go. And so I ended up going to the Louis store, and the security guard was so funny. It's just so funny how everything worked out. He was just like, who are you? What are you doing here? Like, nobody can talk to this guy. His name's Charles.
Where are your credentials?
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, Jean-Charles. And I butchered his name when I asked for him. They're like, oh, you mean Jean-Charles? I was like, oh, yeah, that's who I meant. And then these little unpaid actresses, God bless, shout out to them. Like, they run in out of breath, just, where did you get your coat? And like, I made everything head to toe, me. And I'm like, oh, I'm a designer. I made this. Like, would you like me to make you one?
Yeah, you can't get this coat anywhere
Yeah,
else.
this is one of one. This is me. And I go to pull out my measuring tape, and then I look back, and they're like, Jean-Charles wants to meet with you. And so I'm like, oh, okay,
it couldn't
cool.
have worked out more perfectly.
Let me see if I can pencil you in now. Like, I have a fan club. And they really just like pressed it.
What are followers at that point? Like, you don't even need Instagram followers if people are running to you on the street.
Girl, exactly. And that's why followers mean nothing to me, because I see how I impact the general public.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who follows me online. I literally have under 2K followers on both my accounts. Like, it's the amount of influence that I have without that keeps me going. And I know my family looks at me and they're like, what are you talking about? It's like my grandma, for instance, when I told her I was coming on this podcast, she was like, for what? Like,
they just don't.
It's okay, Grandma. Like, I'm going for my clothes. Oh, like, they don't see me in my zone doing my thing. They don't see me when I'm in Europe. They don't see the major fashion houses. My first trip to Gucci, I would never go into a Gucci store because I would be scared that they would think I'm stealing from them or like not supposed to be there. You know how that like designer store thing goes, you know? So I would never even just step foot in there knowing that I'm not going to buy anything.
Right.
I tell you, the first time, leaning over the counter, taking pictures of my fit. Oh,
that's how you know.
What's his name? The creative director, Michele. He would love this. He would love this. Taking pictures of me. And that was like my first time. I was probably like 24. Mm-hmm. Like super young. My first collection that I ever put out. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, when you get validation from people like that,
and
you don't get validation from the mass public.
Well, for sure. And then the next season, things looked real familiar. Like, I could have a side-by-side Balenciaga, Gucci, several looks, girl.
From the shit they took pictures of.
Oh, my God. So, funny story. I didn't really have a car. So I was always riding my bike, and I'd always wear my fanny pack across my chest, right? And that was just a matter of transportation. I don't want to get robbed. Functionality, right? My ex was so embarrassed that I wear this damn fanny pack around my neck.
What's everyone doing now?
He went and bought me a Louis bag, right?
For her bicycle?
Louis? No. When we were in Europe.
Okay.
Louis Balenciaga, I'm sorry, you guys, but I started that fanny pack trend. Every
Hell yeah.
Every person that, and it was all out of just functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, every fashion house, that's what I wore to Europe, because that was just, keep my passport,
Safe.
everything. Yeah, I was in a new foreign place. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I heard about pickpocketing, whatever. And my ex was so embarrassed of this.
Want to know what's more embarrassing? Wearing a backpack on the front of you, okay?
Just wear that the too. Fanny. That too. But he couldn't stand. He thought I looked so childish with this damn fanny pack. It's just funny how things work, and that's why I just think everyone just don't listen.
And it came full circle. So you got that interview, and
oh yeah, so I got my Louis interview, and so I'm moving to New York next week, or actually this week, Saturday.
Just it's Monday so today. Casually. I loved when you reached out to me because I knew she was going away. I knew she was going to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't hear back yet, and so I was just like, when you reached out to me and were like, "Let's do the pod. Let's do this," I was like, shit popped off. She's ready to talk about what happened, and I can't wait.
Yes.
And then now, you're no longer living in Utah after this week.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to New York.
I had to put my 2 weeks in.
Going quarterly to France so that you can be working with the creative team. Like, that's just... You did all of that.
I did, guys, and I didn't go to fashion school either.
And
I learned this all in high school. My high school sewing teacher really did that. She helped me so much. Mrs. Hatch, love you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hatch.
Yeah, she was great.
Teachers that take the time to connect with you.
Please. Any teachers watching this, like, your students really value that one-on-one. And I swear I was like the only one that she really took under her wing. She taught me pattern making, any type of alterations. I know how to use overlock, regular machine, quilting machines. Every single day in high school, I graduated my junior year, but every single day I had a sewing class. So by the time I graduated high school, I was very well versed in.
And it didn't cost you money other than your public education.
But they took that out of school.
Did they?
Yes. We need to fight to bring
home ec?
Yes. Any trade, they've taken that out of high school.
That's literally what made me want to go to fashion school. Was I had a teacher like that,
and
I was going to the thrift stores and I was getting stuff and then mixing it together.
Yeah,
and creating my own stuff.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have a teacher like her who was, helping me with my, I don't know, out of the box ideas and just being willing to take that time, even though that wasn't what she asked the whole class to do. You know what I mean?
You were thinking out of the box.
Yeah. And if we don't have teachers that support that kind of thinking or the resources like you're talking about now,
for sure,
to even do it, so many students can't go out and buy a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 sewing machine like they have in schools now or used to have, I guess. To learn those skills that end up being helpful. Our whole career.
Yeah, or just helping yourself around the house. I think so many people throw so much out because they're unable to mend it themselves, and they think it's trash now, like my zipper broke, I can't fix it. Just little things like that to be helpful, well,
and you're the more a seamstress for a rapper now. It's not some old lady sitting in the back of her house sewing. Right. That's not what sewing is.
It can be fabulous. You can make it into a whole career. Over COVID, I turned basically unwanted items in my closet into a store, and I also started creating my own pieces and created a Depop for myself and was able to make decent money through. I love Depop. I was able to create a hustle over COVID when we were all struggling, salons were shut down. I wasn't able to do hair. So I really had to just be resourceful and be like, okay, how can I finesse this?
Right. And you were still living in LA at the time.
So I was living in LA and I was living in an art gallery and somebody caught that on fire. during the riots. And so I had no other choice but to come back here. Attempted to go back, couldn't have my job because I didn't want to get vaccinated. And that's a personal choice for everyone. I think everyone should have their own choice on that.
But that was your point of not going back.
Yeah, I'm not going back because they wanted to force that on me. So then I ended up just here, and I got my job at Envy.
Blow dry bar.
You know,
hit plug. It up. Cincinnati.
Yeah. And I got hired to do young boys tailoring. And so that was cool. Just random. Super random. I doubt it was
random. I bet other things in your life.
Well, you know, the universe has its way, but I just got hit up for this job. And they asked me for my ID. And they're like, okay, be at this place at 3:00. And then I was there. And I seen a painting of young boy. And I was like, oh, whoever's house this is, they must love young boy. Like, I didn't even think anything of it. And even at the time, like, I didn't even know he was called young boy. I said MBA because that's part of his name, I guess. And he walks out. They're like, oh, this is Kentrell. I'm like, oh, word. Okay. Well, this is my life. You know, this is apparently what we're doing.
Here to hem some pants.
I'm gonna, you know, make him tight, make him little skinny jeans for him.
Get it.
Yeah, and him and his baby mama and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, it worked out. And so I'm gonna be in touch with his stylist in New York, and we're gonna work out there too. So it ends up
good
being a super plug. Yeah.
Well, but the first thing I noticed about you is just the way you carry yourself, and you really are putting like so much positive and
thank you,
like hard work into the universe that it's gotta come back. Like it and you can tell it is coming back to you and in times that you're ready. And
yes, that part you have to be ready. You can't skip levels. Remember we had this talk, like you literally have to go level by level, otherwise you're not going to have the tools necessary for the next step and you're going to fall.
And it's been a hard journey for you to get here. Is there anything that you think, like, what got you from like dark moments to like, I mean, your place burned down. How did you get out of that like kind of darkness and be like, all right, well, I just have to trust the process and we'll get through this?
I think I've experienced so much craziness in my life that I've had to, and like adversities where I just know that like that everything's gonna be okay. Like ever since I was little, it was just one of those things where like I'm reading this book right now and they say like you know who you are before you're 8 years old. And it's other people that like deter you off that path, but you know who you are. You know what you're capable of doing. And I knew ever since I was little, like I had multiple paths. I knew that I was going to do something special with my life. And it was always other people's opinions that could tell me what's wrong with myself.
Or change your course.
Right. And so anytime that anything like this happened, like right now, I've been experiencing extreme loss. But I know something really great is about to happen because of that. It's this weird like polarity, right? It like deflects off of itself and pushes it into the positive. So when times like this happen, it's like, sure, I could get upset, but that's only going to waste time and energy because I know that there's more. I can't dwell on like terrible things and just hope that things are going to be good. I know things are going to be good.
Yeah. You're resilient. You've seen the bad.
Oh, yeah.
And the good over and over again.
I've seen bad since really early in my life. And so knowing what the world can be is such a a great thing. I think when you're sheltered, it's almost like a disadvantage because you think it's all cookies and cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when things actually do go wrong, I notice like a lot of friends or people around me who've always like been pretty peachy their whole life, but the minute things go awry, they're like, oh my God, like it's the end of the world, you know, kind of thing.
I don't know how to cope with this.
Yeah. But I've seen it early.
So you know, you just have those skills and you know.
Yeah.
It seems like, from what I know about you, and not everyone here needs to know everything, but you've really made a good relationship with yourself.
Yes.
It seems like. And so even though like everything else can be stormy around you, like your connection to yourself, your knowledge of who you are, the things that you need and how to take care of yourself, you know that. And so when your core is pretty solid, everything around you can be stormy and you can still make it through.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I really admire about you is that you seem very solid with Cydnie. Cydnie knows Cydnie really well. And when people come in and they're noisy, they're just noisy. And you know, like, all right, well, I just need to do this. I have all of my things in order. And that would make sense that you're able to be more resilient if, like, your core and who you are, you love and believe in who you are.
Yeah. So, and that comes with a lot of alone time. Whether it's you purposely do that or it's just forced upon you, I think it's so important for everyone to be comfortable with just being alone with themselves.
And doing things alone.
Yes.
Going to the movies.
Take yourself on a date, boo. Like, do your thing. Like, don't depend on anyone else to be there for you. And like, that was huge for me.
And travel alone. Like, literally,
traveling alone.
You would do with someone else, at least try it alone.
It can be a little scary. Be prepared.
Yeah, be safe.
Yeah, for sure. But it's totally doable. And I think that the more people that do that for themselves, it's so nice to not have to navigate based off of what other people want.
Or other people's emotions. Like, you can,
Right.
So when
especially
I was
traveling,
working at the suit shop, if it was on the list of things to do, I wanted to do it. I was so high functioning at that point in my life. They had to tell me to go take a break, and they like paid for me to take time off and go with a little extra spending money and just get away. And I took
need to hear about this suit shop.
They're great. I love chasing at them. But I took my ass to Monterey, California. I just drove across the 80, which I would not recommend. So fly if you're going from Salt Lake to Monterey.
What's in Monterey?
I had just never been, and I was looking for a beach, and I didn't necessarily want it to be LA because
congested.
Now that I've lived there, every time I go back, I have to tell people when I go back, or people get offended. And so I was like, I just want to go be alone. And so I took myself to Monterey. I signed up for some beach horseback riding. And I ended up being there with a family of 4 and myself. This was before I even had Louise. Otherwise, she would have been on the trip with me. But I went, and the family was like, what are you doing here alone? And I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to get away. Like, just felt like this would be fun. And I had a blast.
Good.
And if you are fine to like open up and talk to people, I took myself on a date. So I love snow crab. Same. Oh, I fucking love snow crab.
Yes.
And I think I was barely 22, ordered a cocktail and snow crab and just sat at this pier restaurant by myself with a great view. No one could tell me how fast to eat my food, how to eat my food, whatever. I didn't get carded, and that was like
I'm a grown woman.
Yeah, like this is my first, and I had traveled Europe by myself, but for some reason, I think because I was there as an au pair, I didn't look at it the same way. And I came back so empowered and liberated from that whole experience that now I'm like, telling everyone, please go do stuff on your own, travel on your own. Obviously take the precautions you need, but
yeah, let people know.
It is so empowering to just do stuff on your own for yourself at your own pace. And then if you come back and you have a spouse or whatever and it's back to real world, I think everyone needs to take some alone time like that and rely on yourself.
Be comfortable with you. You know, like love yourself. Like I can't stand this whole thing where everyone wants to be everyone else. Like be comfortable with being you because you're beautiful.
Also, look how good you look here in your own designs.
Thank you.
Like,
thank you.
No one else is walking around in this denim skirt or these denim sleeves.
See, you know, I had to come with the Beyonce sleeves, but it's fun for me. It's not dress up. It's literally like who I am, you know? Sometimes I'll see people and they'll be like, that's a nice costume. You're like, what? A costume?
Have you said so is yours? Like,
right?
Everyone is in a costume to
well,
some
we're
degree.
all like, you know what Kanye said, unpaid actors. And so, like, this is your movie, though. Like, what are you going to make of it?
Yeah.
And honestly, material items are cool, but memories are priceless. And those are the times, like, when you go and take these trips by yourself, even go with your spouse, go with whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taking these opportunities to make these memories is way more priceless than any car, house, or whatever. I hate when people place value on those things to a point where it's like they overvalue the items versus the experiences.
Agreed. Because even if you were to... My boyfriend keeps telling me, he's like, how do you feel in these clothes? Because I'll be like, what do you think? Like, what's my outfit? And he's like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
He's like, I want you to feel hot as hell when we're out.
Oh my
God,
I mean? Marry him. Please.
He was like,
I love this guy for you.
I know, I do too. But you know what I mean? Like, it goes along with what you were saying is it's the experience. And it goes down to how did you feel in that outfit while you were there? Or... Because no matter if you're wearing something that could be considered a costume or not, you have to feel good in it.
Right.
To enjoy
it's how you carry yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they ran up to me. Because I was just...
I need you to just go grab it and
okay.
show us.
You want to see the...
Yeah. Hold on, though. You have headphones. There we go. Almost.
Oh, I could.
Get it. This is amazing. You're good. You got this. You got this. Yep. There we go. Damn. See?
Okay. So it's floor length. I should have made it like about probably like an inch shorter because I was kicking it. But see, this is why you have to wear your designs before you
sell them.
So you know what the people's need. You know, and then so these are giant pockets. They end right here.
And she was telling me she packed some stuff. This is what she wore in the airport.
So if like I got like a little bit extra fabric and stuff, but this is my coat condom.
I love that.
But
water resistant?
You know how like it's water resistant, yes. So it rains a lot in Europe and it's cold. So the extra wind resistance, it's nylon windbreaker material. And also, you know how the trains are like a little funky? But yeah, this is a coat condom.
I'm obsessed.
You just put it on over the top. You know, you have your little...
You can still look fab, but it stays looking fab. Like if you're in a dirty venue or something. The subway.
Yeah.
Hot damn, girly. Where'd you get the inspiration for this?
This is actually a YSL pattern.
Okay.
So, shout out to them.
Hell yeah.
But I extended it. It like ended right here, so I altered it to be longer.
Well, and you made the fabric decision. What made you choose that fabric?
This was actually a curtain.
Hell yeah.
I found it at the Goodwill bins. And so this back pocket right here, I would put
Let me just make sure it's in there.
the airport blanket and the little, neck pillow, because I was literally traveling every single night to a different country.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed something to keep my goods in place. But yeah,
Dude, I'm obsessed.
Airport coat. I love the neckline. Everything is just very clean.
Yes, it is.
You like it?
And you look great. Yeah. It levels up that whole outfit. Like, the outfit's great.
It takes it to, more, right?
Like a nighttime.
Yeah.
And you're going to a dinner after this, so that's perfect.
There we go.
And I mean, I hate to, kind of call myself out in a positive way, but did you say that you got some inspiration from my backdrop for something?
Oh, well, yeah, this whole denim outfit. Hold on, let's show it.
There you go.
There you go. I couldn't come here.
Come stand right here.
Not matching.
There we go.
So I had to,
get it.
Fit into the aesthetic of the denim,
And this denim is repurposed.
This is repurposed. This is also repurposed Japanese denim. And it just...
I love that you added a sweater sleeve at the end too.
It makes it a little more casual.
And cozy because denim's not the most cozy.
Right. And one of my biggest things in designing, I love juxtaposition.
Yeah.
I love things that aren't...
Do you want to pause and we'll...
Yeah. So you want me to start from the top?
It's a juxtaposition.
So one of my favorite things in design is juxtaposition. Things that aren't supposed to go together, I love forcing them together, like leather and denim or linen and nylon, just random things that traditionally you would think no, that's against the law of fashion or whatever, but I really...
You know what? People were
I enjoy
what
stuff
did you
like
learn
that
at fashion school? And I'm that all the rules are a scam.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
See, I think that if I were to go to fashion school, it would ruin my creativity.
I would agree. I think I thrive so well in fashion school because I'm unable to tap into my creative side without people like the instructors I had there. So
no doubt I'm sure they're great. And that was always my dream.
But I think you're right as to I don't think you would be well received, and I don't think a lot of the people who are like you were well received at FITM. I think those are the people that typically end up dropping out or great, being there gave them a lot of good networking opportunities, and so then they just were oh good, get me the hell out of here and I'll just go work with you now. But people like me who literally, my mom told me she found a drawing of me from when I was 6 and it was actually pretty good, and I go, well, that's news to me because the first time I thought I drew anything decent was in college because someone told me specifically how to do it. So I think people like me do well in fashion school
with the structure.
And have to
we all have our own learning techniques, right?
But don't beat yourself up for not going to fashion school or whatever.
Right. And when I look at my resume, it's so hard to put oh, these people copied me. Well, I mean, as a form of experience, they're but what school did you go to? It's well, my high school teacher taught me everything that I know. And it's okay, so, but what school did you go to? And it's oh, I didn't go to fashion school. My dream school, let me tell you, was Parsons in New York, but I have a single father as a dad. Mm-hmm. And that was just unreasonable.
Not an option.
And I took every single resource that I had to learn what I needed to learn and just ran with it. Mm-hmm. Look, there's so many free resources to us, and there's so many type A, type B, whatever. If you take it upon yourself, you can make it work out. There's so much information out there, and you can literally find out anything. And honestly, through experience, trial and error, man, there are so many pieces out there that nobody will ever see. Yeah. And ever know existed.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's how you
make your mistakes, please.
Yeah. So
it's not all perfect. Everything you see.
Business 101, right? Start making mistakes.
Please.
Because you're never going to get to anything good. Like, there's mistakes all over this set, but we're here, we're doing it.
Yes.
And that's how we're going to get better. Every time I record one of these, I think, okay, I want to do this or that differently. Noted. And then hopefully everything's improving.
Yeah, right. And that's all of what life's about, is these lessons. They're not, you're not losing, you're actually winning, and you're gaining so much knowledge every single time that you do make a mistake.
But do you think because you're such a resilient person that you're more comfortable making mistakes? I think most people are just terrified of making a mistake.
I would be so worried about what people thought about me for the longest. And it wasn't until like actually really recent where I was just like, you know what? That's cool. That's fine. Honestly, some of my best pieces were made out of a mistake. I accidentally sewed this part this way. Oops. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mean to do that, but like I effed up, but like, oh, that looks awesome, actually,
So everyone just takes Cydnie's
and you can tell. Yeah.
But I think it's so, and I know you're saying all this stuff so easily because it's just so second nature to you to be resilient and to be like, oh, that's beautiful, and I made a mistake. You should be like a life coach or something, because I think
should get paid for this shit.
Yeah, literally. But I think you've gotten to such a beautiful place that I'm listening to you speak, and I can see myself and all these other listeners being like, yeah, but I can't do that, or I can't talk to myself like that. And I think it's just about noting that it takes practice, and you've been working on this for a really long time to be at this level with yourself so that you can just go into a new project and be like, whatever happens, happens. And I
can't place too much. Also, like, having an expectation on how things are going to end is a surefire way to disappoint yourself. Remove those expectations and just enjoy yourself. Honestly,
enjoy
like,
the process.
Yeah, it's enjoying the process, because honestly, like, the end result is just going to end in you being like, okay, what's next? So in that event, what are you really looking forward to? You should enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Enjoy the long nights where you're up just, beast mode, working through a project,
Grinding.
Your eyes are watering because you're so tired, you know what I mean? Obviously you get your rest, but like
those are some of the more beautiful parts of those hands-on projects.
And something that's so fabulous like fashion, you think, oh, it's so fabulous. The only fabulous part about it is the showing. Yeah. Honestly, the cut and sew, like, I have so much empathy for people who work in factories and stuff like that. That's why I think, like, whenever I do have a team, I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of, that they know that they're valued, because it is hard work.
Can you do like a little blurb or something on the importance of that? Because I think people and their
so important
rampant buying of Shein and Amazon
15 hours a day. They leave with $15 a day.
Under $10, that person's not making anything off of it for making it. Think about your footprint when you pay for these terrible little fast fashion brand or huge fast fashion brands. We are all part of the issue here.
The footprint.
Yeah. And it's not worth it. Just rewear something, redo something.
What I would say is invest in high quality staple pieces. You got your black slacks, your perfect denim, your black shirt, your white shirt, like neutrals. Really, really nice quality shirts that can thrive during the washing process. And that's honestly on my first to-do list, if I do get this position over there, is to create a super high value staple collection so that everyone can work off of that and then
add to,
go from there. Because we all have like I'm going to wear this shirt once and throw it away. Meanwhile, like somebody in another country less fortunate than us, I need you guys to understand how fortunate it is to be an American. Everyone looks at us as this like upper echelon of everything, and it's just crazy because when you're here you don't really realize it, but people are working their butts off to make sure that we have our like necessities that we literally just throw away on a daily.
Our Amazon dupes.
Right, literally. And so
I'm so sorry to interrupt really fast.
No, do.
I get that everyone wants to make money. I get it.
For sure.
It is not worth selling my soul and starting an Amazon marketplace or storefront for products people don't genuinely need, so that I can make a little commission at someone else's
minor
detriment.
Commission, like
minor,
get it real.
But then you're spending time marketing it on your socials. You're talking about it. What is this little polyester top or these leggings that are apparently squat proof and I should buy those instead of Lulu's? What is that bringing to this world? What
it's
positive?
Not. It's low vibrational. Do you know?
Very low vibrational.
That polyester has the vibration of a dead person. Cotton vibrates at the highest rate. So if you're going to choose any type of fabric, cotton. All synthetics, they vibrate at a lower vibration, and it's pretty evident in the way that we treat them, and the lifespan of them is not very long. So that's one of my huge things.
I can do better. I have a whole bin of those that
I mean, we all do. But you know, thank you TikTok for shedding light onto facts. I'm just like, I love facts. I will sit on TikTok scrolling, like looking for more and more facts because I just love learning, you know? But it will really show us like what it is, like as far as what our footprint is making as consumers on this earth. We're literally supplying them with more money to create more BS.
Yes. And there's thrift stores full of stuff. Our friends have closets full of clothes we can exchange with.
If we don't act now, our thrift stores are going to be Shein. Imagine thrifting and you just see 3 like nasty like Shein like all shriveled up because they've been washed.
Levi's. We gorgeous want quality fabrics and vintage pieces.
It's hard to find good quality fabric nowadays, and that's what I struggle with in my position. So even a lot of times I go back to old pieces and revive them.
So are you finding that even at like fabric stores that the new fabrics coming in are just not the same? And
one of my biggest thing is I don't like to contribute to that, so I will seek secondhand first for the longest, and then at the very last moment, like if I have an order or something specific, I will go buy new, but I will really avoid.
And then you're going to use that fabric for something else later, like the extra
every
pieces.
Little scrap. I will. I really try my best. And if not, there's this really great place here called Clever Octopus, and I donate all my secondhand art supplies to them.
Okay, good to know.
They have, if you ever need any like craft supplies, so all the schools and crafters around Salt Lake, which there are a lot, which I love.
Craft Lake City.
I know, it's such it's a real thing, and I love it. So they all donate to that store.
Okay.
And it's on 21st South and Main Street, or West Temple.
21st and West Temple, and it's called
Clever Octopus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a super cute place, and they do like, it's a nonprofit.
Cool.
So it's just this cute little spot, and they've helped me create a bunch since being here.
I had a friend who she makes quilts for her grandkids every year. Yeah. And like pajamas and that, and she likes to make them out of repurposed wool because it's warmer. Yeah. So when I was working at the suit shop before they were doing it in-house, she would ask me, she was like, do you guys have any leftover scraps that I can use? And I just didn't know where to send her. So that's so nice that there's actually a place that does scraps and like even craft, because sometimes you don't want to have to go buy a whole new package of things at the craft store.
And so that's always my process of design is I'll go there first, see whatever I can get. Most of my supplies I can generally get from there. They have anything from yarn, fabric, patterns, buttons, markers, paint, everything.
It's like a thrifter's.
It's brilliant.
Jackpot.
Let me tell you, it's brilliant. They need that in every state.
Yeah.
And that's just huge in me. I don't like to waste. I think it's terrible as far as fashion brands go.
And it seems to be coming from people who are having kids too.
Yeah.
Just think about something longer than 10 years.
Please.
Just, if you're going to have kids, start thinking about where this world is going to be in 10 years and then how you're contributing to that.
Right.
Because now we're getting fast fashion kids from all of these moms who love fast fashion themselves. Now they're dressing their kids in it.
And it's all terribly made fabric that doesn't last one wash. So these kids can't even wear it more than once.
Or give it to another kid.
Like do like a kid-to-kid kind of thing.
Which is how our generation lived, I feel like.
Yeah.
I shopped at kid-to-kid.
Oh, yeah. Everything was secondary and repurposed. No, I appreciate anything that's less wasteful and just thinking about the future. I think everyone's so focused on the now, but they're not thinking about tomorrow. And that's a huge problem. And I don't ever want to be in my position and not be considerate.
No. And we're seeing the weather patterns. We're seeing that global warming is real. Like, what do we need?
Yeah.
What else do we need to convince people not to go, oh my God, I'm on this UGG boot kick right now.
Oh my gosh. You need the UGG guards.
I don't need UGG anything because they rip the skin off of the...
Oh, no, wait. No, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's what I'm saying is like...
I'm not trying to shout them out.
I just feel like we are so diehard whatever our influencers are pushing to us that we're not even thinking of the story behind, right? So like...
Where it came from?
Yeah. And my only issue is like, right, you may like UGG and you may have a pair or whatever, but you're not pushing for people to go... purchase it in mass quantities. You know what I mean? If you're an influencer, I really do think you need to do research on the companies that you're pushing and how
it's not about the dime. Quit worrying about the money, man.
Especially the influencers that are making enough to live. Is that one deal gonna impact things, or are you helping perpetuate this terrible issue?
Right.
I just wish that we could at least have more accountability in that sense too. There's a really good account called Remake Our World, and they highlight the brands. You know?
I like the name. That sounds like something
highlighting fashion brands that are either greenwashing, which everyone's doing right now.
Right. Oh, it's ethical. It's organic.
So they highlight them and do like a full investigative like article on it so that you have all the information. And there needs to be a way now that we're holding brands.
It's kind of like PETA of like brands,
but less aggressive.
Yeah, less bloody probably.
Yeah, I mean PETA really took the let's just shove it in people's face approach.
For sure.
These ones are a lot more tame, but very like, oh well, I didn't know that about Target. So if we can't know these things unless we're seeking it out, or we have brands like Remake Our World who are actively educating us.
Yeah.
My one ask is that in this influencer craze world is that we just look into what we're selling people, right?
Yeah.
Because then we're accountable. If you don't want to be held accountable, whatever, don't look into it. But there has to be a way for us to start holding our influencers accountable, because just the few people talking about like recycling and upcycling isn't enough when everyone's spewing, go to my Amazon
affiliate link,
or like, look at all these things I just bought that I'll never really wear. I'm just seeing if they actually work so that you'll go buy them. It seems all messy to me.
Well, at this point, and I can blame COVID for a lot of this, everyone's just looking for an extra dime. You know what I mean? We're not really going through a recession, but if these billionaires claim that we are, like, we're all in like a frantic mode to like make money and like be at all time like.
Well, we're finding an alternative way to make money than the 9 to 5,
right?
right?
Since we got out of the office, since we had to find other ways to make money since the whole pandemic, we all had to become resourceful, right? And they have all resulted back to Amazon because it did gross massively during that whole time, and it's an easy lick, right? It's like, oh, well, like all I have to do is tell these people go buy this and they'll go buy it.
I mean, I would probably be a millionaire right now if I would have taken up a few people on the opportunity that they were selling at the beginning of COVID to do an Amazon storefront. It made me feel icky.
Yeah, it's like, I definitely could be rich.
Yeah.
I definitely could be well off right now. We
can all be rich if we take the easy way out.
But it all comes down to ethics for me. I'm not the type to sell you some BS. And like, no shade to people who do.
I'm shading.
Oh, well, sure. That's their own karma, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to own that for them.
Right. No, neither am I. But that's their own karma that they're going to deal with whenever they deal with it. But I'm not going to be the one to tell you, you need this. Or, you know, my biggest thing is I want everyone to be able to find resources within their own homes. You know, find people who can actually benefit from these things that you are selling, and it's not about profit, it's about helping people. At the end of the day, we all have our own struggles on the daily that we face, and for me, I want to design products that will help people in any adversities that they may face, or any weather, you know, any type of situation that they may be in, make their life a little easier. I'm so sick of these designs that are just like for one use only. Right. You know, like with this coat, this is like something, this is a sample, but in the event that I do create more, I want it to be like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Versatile.
Just uses on uses, and you can carry that thing with you for years, and like it's just like this tool, really. At the end of the day, it's just something that you can utilize, make your life easier. Only need one of them. You know, it comes back to the staple pieces. I have a hard time watching people create BS. Like, I'm a hairstylist first and foremost. That's what I started as.
So it fed
there's so many things. I could have easily come out with a product line, but there are already so many product lines. You know, all these beauty gurus, palettes. We do not need any more palettes.
Well, and how much of them are actually great quality ingredients too?
They jack up your face.
Fillers.
Break you out. Like, I've been through it all, and like, we do not need any more palettes. We need more things that are like of value. Like,
that's what I loved when you walked in here and you're like, well, listen, everyone, she didn't know about my limb difference until Friday.
I didn't know.
That's on me.
Well, and I wouldn't have known unless you like told me, because I don't see that.
I know. But
I don't.
You came in here so solution oriented with like doing my hair and everything. That's just the way your brain works, is like, this doesn't need to just be a blow dry. It can be an educational blow dry where now she's learning how to do this with her limb difference. It's so much more than just, you always take it more levels than most people do. And I think that's your value.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is you're thinking about the things a lot of people aren't thinking about.
Yeah. I think that we all have our own disadvantages. based off of whatever cards we were dealt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how I can make a solution.
And an impact, and a positive impact. I think that seems to be your theme.
And not feel any type of way about yourself. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want everyone to feel as beautiful as themselves. That's so huge for me. Because we are all so beautiful ourselves. I don't need you to go and try and be like so-and-so, and vice versa for me. Like, I need to be the best version of me and embrace what God naturally gave me and work with the cards that I was dealt.
Right.
And design and hair and anything that I apply myself to, that's huge for me.
Good.
I really want everyone to know that, like, they're beautiful. And I know I have made people feel like, oh, they need to either be more like me or something like me. And it's like, no, boo, like, please look in this mirror and recognize this beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even as someone who, like, I feel like I could wear an outfit like this and be very confident, I would not wear this exact outfit the same way you're able to wear it, because we're different people.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I love doing customs. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, I take everything from your insecurities, your favorite color palettes, your cuts, mm-hmm. the way you like things to hold you in certain ways, you know, oh, I need to diminish this certain aspect of myself. And I take that into every consideration when designing.
You really do. And you can tell in your designs already. Like, you thought ahead. I mean, granted, it's a pattern from something else. You were like, well, this is a pattern that works for me and my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And I know how to use it. Yeah. Before you even had it made, I'm sure. You're like, okay, pockets.
Right.
Condom.
I seen this interview of Rick Owens from back in the day. And he mentioned that he was basically like reverse engineering, which is a lot of what I do. I'll take things apart and then put them back together, or like copy the pattern and put it back together. And he would take apart designer goods. And that has been so relieving, honestly, because when it comes to quality control for me, I am so much a perfectionist. I overlook everything and try to make it a certain way. But when I take apart designer goods, I realize, hey, this isn't perfect. The way that they made this is not literally ideal, perfect, you know, A to B, amazing. So,
is that learning in your brain because they are doing it off like those standard models, or why do you think that is?
Well, I'll look at things like stitching. I'll see like loose strings or something. Even when I go to like designer stores,
like couture.
Yeah, I will look at the details and I'll notice minor flaws, but my eye is trained to see flaws, right. You see. So no matter what the common eye may notice, I definitely peep that, you know. Mm-hmm. So I'll see some things and it will remind me, hey, not everything is perfect. And yeah, strive for perfection for sure, but it's not necessarily a make or break.
Right. And to think that anyone is perfect,
yeah,
it just goes to show that they're not, right? Even like those big fashion
and nothing
houses.
In this life is perfect. And I'm very much a perfectionist. And so that helps me in the process of everything, because my perfectionism delays so much. My mental state will disable me to no end. Like, it's pretty bad. As I get more experience in this field, I slowly am relieving myself of that, but it's just like a gradual process. You know, I think we all have it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like just maybe like a little bit different than imposter syndrome.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Am I good enough? Is this good enough? when will I be good enough?
Or like, who am I to do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
That part.
Big time struggler with that over here.
Who do I think I am?
Yeah.
No, that's so rude. Why do we do that?
I would never say that to you, but
I would never say that to you.
Can we
How
believe?
dare? Yeah. Can we just like be each other's like
hype?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been looking forward. We've had to reschedule a couple of times, but I've been looking forward to this because of how I feel after I'm around you.
Really?
Yes, because I feel a lot more energized and hyped and like refocused on the shit I'm doing, right? So like sometimes people might leave other people who have a lot going on.
Do you feel empty?
And feel empty or feel like I have all this competition or whatever, and I don't get that from you. And you can talk very confidently and you're still just like, and this is my journey. It has nothing to do with anyone else, right?
I don't want to take away from you.
No, and I think that's what we just need to go in giving people credit for is don't assume they're trying to take anything from you unless they give you a reason to believe that, right? Because I do think...
And there are people like that out there.
Yes, but twisted, I think they're more
for the most part,
far and few between. I think the majority of people mean well. And I think the majority of people sometimes are less aware at how their insecurities come off to other people. Which, again, I go back to like you just being solid in you. And that's the goal, right? You're much less affected by others around you if you're more solid in yourself. Yes. So that's just where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. Right. Being comfortable with being you. And
proud of being who you are.
And quit trying to be everybody else. I'm so sick of this whole, like, I need to get filler. I need to get a BBL. I need to do all of this, like, molding. And, like, you're naturally gorgeous.
Let your grades come in.
Yes. Let it just fly. Because, like, everyone has their own trajectory.
Yeah.
It's so silly to try and be somebody else.
And I got a chin implant early last year.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't know. Okay.
I know. Not a lot of people know. But
how was that?
You know, it was kind of crazy, and I have to massage. So I got a chin implant, a medium chin implant. And then they did lipo down here. I have to like stay active in massage and
facial, like,
because I can very quickly.
Do you do gua sha? I want to get a gua sha so bad.
Have a stone, a jade stone.
Okay, there you go.
I need like the face oil, and I need to just actually do it. But you know,
I heard you can do it with your cleanser.
We don't even brush our teeth, so gua sha is
extra.
Yeah. We're getting there. But like I even sometimes just keep it in the shower, and I'll just do it when I'm in there.
I wonder if you could like do it in the bedroom. Like imagine your face is already cleansed and
like
everything.
At night.
If you're just like laying there like watching your TikToks or whatever.
Or just like waiting. I like vape at night because same. That's how I go to sleep is cannabis. And I could just do that while I'm waiting for it to like kick in. I'll just wake up with it on the side.
Yeah. Like your little jade roller and stuff.
As long as you're doing something for you, not because other people told you this is going to make you better looking or you should do this. Like I'm for whatever, right? Just as long as it's for you.
Cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. And that's not what we're saying.
But don't do it to go look like somebody else. Like, oh, once I look like so-and-so, my life is going to be great.
Yeah. No, or once I've lost this much weight, or once I've gained this much weight. Like,
well, you're wishing your time away. And that is, for one, going to disable you because you are unable to accept the present moment. The present moment might not be the best, but it's reality.
Well, and it goes back to enjoying the process.
Right.
Enjoy the journey. Yes. Like, I don't know. I worry about the future a lot. We talked about that. Yeah. But as long as we're focusing more on, like, the present, your future will be just fine. things are going to happen. There's always going to be another shoe that will drop.
You're working towards the future, right?
Yeah.
And you know that the future is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's inevitable.
Right. So as long as what actions you're taking today are representing what the future is that you want, then that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend doing whatever is in best favor of future Cydnie.
Yeah. And you're doing it. You're taking the plunge.
I
it's
hope
going to be
so,
scary,
man.
you know, and it's going to be an adjustment.
It is going to be scary. I know I got to work a lot. I'm having anxiety this week because I know I'm going to have to work my ass off.
I'll be here. If you ever need a call or text, I'm here.
Thank you. And vice versa. Whatever you need, girl. If you want to come up and see me.
Well, you know what? I am bummed. I'm bummed that you're moving because I feel like this was the beginning of it is. And we don't have to live in the same state. I get that. But inside of me, I can just, like, I see all this stuff coming for you and I'm so excited. I genuinely am.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what you're going to do out there.
I'm really excited too. I think that I had to experience extreme loss in order to understand like what I can do. And it is hard because I did get so situated here. I was here for 2 years since COVID.
And it's home, so it's easy to kind of just fall back.
Well, it was easy, right? And like, I love my dad and he wants what's best for me and what's easy for me. So when he sees me try to like, I'll literally uproot my whole life to make my life harder. And he'll be like, why are you doing this? I'm like,
that's a common
Dad, thing. You know, I just want to be great. It's like, but you have like everything you need. I literally have a car now. I never have a car. Like I have a apartment, I have a puppy, and like my dog's coming with me, but
that's what you were saying to me the other day was it looks a lot different, this move, than it did when you moved out to LA. With what did you say, like $1,000?
A suitcase, $1,000, and a dream. Honestly, I always like. I have this hypothetical dream book. And it's called A G in a Dream. That's when I moved to LA. But now New York is different. You know, I have some money in my account and I actually have a job and I have experience and I have friends and I have a place to stay.
And a bitch-ass perspective.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just, it all comes with time, and I think everyone needs to understand that none of this happened overnight. There was a lot of hard work, sad days, tons of tears, and a whole lot of sweat that went into this. So it's not something that happens overnight, but if you want something, you'll make it work. You'll make it work.
Yeah.
It's what's meant for you is meant for you. And sacrifice is nothing to a dream. It's nothing.
I mean, do we just end it on that?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
I'm so happy I've met you.
Thank you. Likewise.
I cannot wait to see what you're going to accomplish.
Well, you better come see me.
I will. I've never been to New York, so.
You have a place to stay whenever you need it.
Good.
Let me know.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
I love it.